The new Brodie Lee T-shirt sets a new pro wrestling tees record. Now, this just comes on the heels of Sting's big T-shirt sale during the episode from the Brodie Lee Tribute special. To coincide with AEW's Brodie Lee Celebration of Life edition of the show, Pro Wrestling Tees announced a new Exalted in Heaven T-shirt for Brodie Lee. Pro Wrestling Tees also announced that the new T-shirt broke their Pro Wrestling Tees record for most shirts sold within 24 hours. Ryan Barkin of Pro Wrestling Tees wrote that in less than 30 days after Sting beat their record for most T-shirts sold in 24 hours, Brodie Lee broke that record before the end of last night's AEW Dynamite after less than 2 hours. Barkin also wrote that all the proceeds from Brodie's shirt will go to the Huber family. Pro Wrestling Tees then added on Twitter that up until recently, Freshly Squeezed Orange Cassidy had the highest selling T-shirt of 2020, but he had just dethroned in just 4 hours after the release of Brodie Lee's tribute shirt, and now is the highest selling T-shirt of 2020 will go to Mr. Brodie Lee. Erick Rowan's AEW status following his appearance, according to Wrestling Observer newsletter, is that AEW's deal was just a special appearance on the Brodie Lee Tribute, and that was it. Dave Metzler also said that anything can happen in the future, and obviously things can change, but as of right now, Erick Rowan, a.k.a. Redbeard, is not part of the AEW roster, and no talks have been made. Because of the Brodie Lee tribute show, they moved the 2-point show, AEW Games Show, hosted by Kenny Omega, will debut January 6th, immediately following AEW Dynamite. So you can check that out on youtube.com/AEW Games. Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers are set to appear on this week's Impact Wrestling. This was announced next week, so you can check it out on Access TV or on Twitch to see Kenny Omega with Don Callis and the Good Brothers making an appearance on Impact, setting up their pay-per-view, which I believe is scheduled the 16th at Hard to Kill in 2021. So this will be setting up that appearance. So you can check out Kenny Omega on Impact. As each time Kenny Omega has appeared on Impact, the ratings have gone down. We'll see how this does for next week. Riho is reportedly finished with Japan's Stardom. Riho is one of the greatest, if not one of the biggest women's wrestlers in AEW. And Dave Metzler noted on Sunday's daily update on F4W Online that Riho has finished up with Stardom. The report indicates that Stardom wanted their talents to be exclusive to them, which is an issue for Riho, as she's still under contract at AEW. Riho beat Nyla Rose in the women's division singles bout in the inaugural, and she became the inaugural champion at Capital One Arena back in October 2019. Riho was AEW's world champion for 133 days before losing to Nyla Rose at Revolution. Riho's last appearance on All Elite Wrestling was in March 18th on Dynamite when she competed in a four-way match with Hikaru Shida, Chris Statlander, and Penelope Ford. She has been in AEW since then due to the whole you-know-what going on. So since her absence, she's mostly worked for Stardom, but now that she's done with Stardom, could we see Riho back in AEW soon? Trent will be out of action for a few months due to a torn pec. If you noticed on AEW Dynamite, Trent came out with a sling, and that's because he has a torn pec muscle and be out of action a few months. An injury angle was done a previous week where Trent Best Friends was shown hurt badly and because of Miro. So what will happen now? No word on when he will return, but Trent is out for several months. One thing, if you didn't notice, that Shawn Spears, based on his appearance, talking about how he was being used well in AEW, it appears that now Shawn Spears has been removed from AEW's roster page and edits his social media. So we're not really sure what's going on with Shawn Spears, but it looks like this was 2 weeks ago when he talked about, maybe this wasn't the spot for him and he's trying to do better. And I said that he's digging out of his hole for 18 months that Tony Khan and his favorite EVP, Cody, pushed him into. So we'll see. But according to AEW's roster page, Shawn Spears has now been removed. So he might be out of TV for quite some time.